So yoga therapy is both an art and a science. It's applying the teachings and practices of yoga to an individual or with an individual. And that to me can be an art because it's through a therapeutic relationship that is transferred. And oftentimes that individual has specific health challenges. And there's the science a bit too, because yoga has been demonstrated to help with a lot of different health challenges at this point. So yoga therapy is offering yoga practices and teachings to individuals to help them with their own personal health goals. Individuals come to yoga therapy for a variety of different reasons, whether that be chronic pain or mental health challenges. Essentially, there's some sort of suffering that's happening. And that type of suffering that we've seen, particularly with mental health, with anxiety, with stress, has exacerbated over the past few years with the pandemic, with so much else that's gone on in our society, in our culture here, particularly in the US, but really worldwide. And so yoga therapy really has become an effective modality, and it's been demonstrated to be that for a variety of health conditions. The other thing I will say about yoga therapy is that it's a whole person model for healing. And the individual isn't just their knee pain or whatever might be going on. It looks at the whole person. And our healthcare system is starting slowly to identify that as well. So yoga therapy is a really nice modality to be alongside other collaborative care models that are emerging more and more today. The difference between yoga teaching or a yoga teacher and yoga therapy not only is the extensive training that a yoga therapist goes through, because that training is 800 hours on top of a 200-hour yoga teacher training, but there are some key things that a yoga therapist learns in training that are different than a yoga teacher would learn, such as how to do intake, how to do client assessment, and then how to develop with a client specific yoga therapy plans, treatment plans that address the goals of the individual. It's then up to the individual to do those things, and that's quite different than what a yoga teacher does. A yoga teacher often directs students in a group setting to do the same thing, everybody in the whole class, with maybe some variation, right? But a yoga therapist is looking at the unique needs of the individual, co-creating specific plans and empowering that individual to do those plans themselves. One other thing that makes a yoga therapist different from a yoga teacher, in addition to the training and also that motivation and empowerment of the client, is the level of professionalism that a yoga therapist works at, where they're maintaining client records, perhaps keeping SOAP notes, and sharing those, collaborating with other healthcare providers as part of an integrated health team. Most often we see yoga therapists work in private practice, where they're working one-on-one with individuals. And that could be in a yoga studio, that could be in an office, that could be at the client's home, that could be in person or virtually. Other yoga therapists also work in hospital settings, in behavioral health settings, as part of a collaborative care team for the US military, for universities and other educational institutions as well. We also see yoga therapists now, increasingly I would say, who have other degrees such as mental health provider, also getting their yoga therapy certification so that they can integrate the yoga therapy into the work that they're doing. But it is important to know that you do not have to be another type of care provider, like a psychotherapist or an RN, in order to be a yoga therapist. I'm Michelle Lawrence, and I am the founder and director of Inner Peace Yoga Therapy. I've been doing this work in this role since 2010, And the reason why I became a yoga therapist and then went on to offer this training in the world is because I had my own personal healing experience with yoga and wanted to share that with others. And this was the way in which I visioned it in the world.